We're on the air. Welcome. It's Thursday night.
Are we walking on the air?
Ooh, walking on sunshine.
Whoa.
Oh. Don't it feel good?
Yeah.
Don't I have good English skills?
You talk real good.
Oh, yeah.
Podcast. Hey, Rob.
Hey.
Rob has good vocabularistics.
That's right. I say, hey.
And good suits, too, we hear.
Ooh. Good call. They're over there. I have several. There's only 2 in here right now. A couple are out to the dry cleaners.
Nice.
I wore several this weekend.
You and your zoot suits.
Mm-hmm. It's a zoot suit riot.
I learned about that not too long ago.
Throw back a bottle of beer.
That's right.
Okay, let's get this underway. I will play music and open the show, and then we'll get started. So, here we go. Well, here we are. Once again, it's a Thursday night, and welcome to Caching in the Northwest. This is the only podcast dedicated to geocaching in the great Pacific Northwest. We'll talk about caches and caches unique to this little corner of the country. So trade in your Tupperware for QR codes tonight. It's time to go Munzeeing in the Northwest.
Yes,
And
it is.
as we always do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead.
please feel free to do as we always do.
As we always do, bring in our barcoded monkey. You know, some say he's hip and square, and others say he's just well-coded. All we know is he's called Landmark.
Well, it is hip to be square, and I am certainly not well-behaved, so at least being well-coded, you know, get rid of the spaghetti code, and we'll move on. But hey, speaking of quality control and getting everything working right, this week we are honored with a return visit from CoachV, Rob Vardaman of Munzee. Rob, thanks for joining us tonight.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Good to be back with you guys.
Good
Well,
to have you back.
It is good to have you back. Thank you so much. And, you know, not too long ago, I was there in McKinney, Texas, visiting the MunzeeHQ. So thank you so much for your generous hosting.
No problem. My pleasure.
So if you're new to the podcast, welcome. And if you're returning listeners, you know that we love hearing from you about your favorite caches and caching locations right here in the Northwest, and even more in your own voice. So be sure to use the voicemail tool on the website and send us your favorite cache, and we will play it on the podcast. Your message needs to be just about 15 seconds long. That's long enough to say your geocaching name, the GC code, the name of the cache, and why you liked it.
Why do we like it? I don't know why we like it. We like it because, well, it's caching and it's fun and all that good stuff. Hey, do you have one to play this month, or we're going to put Rob on the spot?
Actually, you're going to read it here in just a moment.
Okay. I saw the GIF event. I wasn't sure that was it, but I'm going to go ahead. So we do want to thank our listeners for listening, new, old, and otherwise. In September, there was a huge increase in listenership, and we want to thank each and every one of you that participated and made those numbers go up. Personally, I think it's because I was not on the podcast much in September, but I digress. So, you know, be sure to tell your fellow cachers about our fun little show here. You know, I don't know. You could burn a few of your favorite episodes to a CD if you still have CDs or thumb drives or whatever you want to do, and leave it in the cache for others to find. That'd be great. Chisel it on a wall somewhere as long as you have permission to do so. Spread the word, and we appreciate all of you. So, as you mentioned, we do have some contributions here. This one's from Unimogger Pam, is that correct?
Unimogger, yes, who's also known as
Okay.
Pam.
Also known as Pam, a.k.a. Pam. He says, in your last podcast, you asked about anyone who is hosting a GIF event, and I don't know if you want to say it's GIF, good GIF,
Good GIF.
GIF, all that. Anyway, it's the Geocaching International Film Festival, don't you know? For the island of Oahu in Hawaii, that would be me and my cohorts. No, I'm not talking me. This is Unamager. It is not as fancy as GC63NXR, but I think it'll be a fun event, and her event is GC629CA. Len Monkey's already favoring that cache.
Actually, no. What I'm doing is I'm periscoping you live while we're doing it.
Is that like Inception?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You will break the internet.
Yes.
I'm trying. It hasn't worked yet.
So the event, GC629CA, will be held at the Hawaiian Trail and Mountain Clubhouse, which can easily host 50-plus people. This is there's a fairly large indoor area if the weather's bad, but Pam's hoping that we can make use of the great outdoor area. It's out in the country and probably a bit of a drive for some people. It's also being held on a Sunday because the location is booked for Saturday. But Pam says, I'm still hoping for a good turnout. Currently there are 15 will-attend logs, 20 if you count the couples with one account. I haven't announced it yet, but I plan on having a raffle, and I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to seeing pics and reading logs from some of the other GIF events around the globe, and she says, aloha.
Nice. Now, you fellow hosts probably remember Pam. We met her on the near the peak at GCD. She was there with a couple of other her Hawaiian counterparts who came for the last block party. So it was good to see her up there.
Yeah, they were cold up there, as I recall.
They were cold, yes.
That was awesome. We met a whole lot of people up there. It was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. There were a lot of people on the mountain that day.
From all over the world.
Yes.
All meeting
Not
on
to mention the Northwest. Did we mention the Northwest?
We did.
Did I tell you that one of the goals of the Caching in the Northwest podcast is to provide fun, humorous, and hopefully interesting podcasts at no cost to you? So I'm touched when somebody donates to the podcast because they want to. So this week, I'd like to thank Alaska ER Doc for his generous donation to the Caching in the Northwest podcast. And we all say, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks.
That is so cool. We appreciate that so enormously that I'm going to give you a double shout out, AKER Doc, on Caching in the Northwest here, and also I'm going to flip the phone around there, and also live on Periscope. So there you go. And I'm going to stop Periscoping because it's really distracting me from my primary job here, which is the podcast. But it was fun. All right. So, yeah, thank you for sharing that. That was awesome. I just love hearing that. Of course, we love it when people support the show, but even more so, we just love it when people are feeling they're getting some sort of value out of what we're doing every Thursday night. So, thank you.
Thank you indeed. So, guys, have you gotten out to get any geocaches, any adventures, any geolocation gains in the last week?
Well, as a matter of fact, let's see. This week I have grabbed a couple geocaches during work. Did a little periscoping with that between meetings. So I call that suit caching. Not as fancy suits as Rob has, but I'll work my way up to that. Got a new Munzee clan started. We call it the low barrier to entry Munzee clan.
Nice.
Love it.
As long as we get level 1, we're happy. So that's fun. We filled up that clan like instantly. I was so surprised how many local Munzers there are now. So there's 2 clans basically in the Lower Mainland now, Rob. We're really people are really getting into Munzee up here. So we're really excited to have you on the show tonight.
Wow, I'm really impressed. That's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so that's what we've been up to. But how about you, Badcock?
Well, I've been working to fill out that finds calendar, so I just keep chugging along. And, you find some caches here, there, everywhere. I've also adopted another cache this week with some good plans to change it. So that's kind of exciting. We'll talk about that more on another episode, though. Wits End, what about you?
I went to an event Saturday with you.
Yeah, that's true. We did do some events. We got another one coming up this Saturday. I forgot to mention that. the Auburn GeoCoin Challenge 2015, which we had the host and coordinator on the show just a couple of weeks ago. So if you're in the Western Washington area, head over to Auburn this weekend. It's going to be fabulous GeoCoin Challenge. Sorry, Wits End, I think I might have cut you off.
I went to an event this weekend with you.
Good. Did I cut you off any more than that?
I went to an event this weekend with you.
Well, let me tell you about the event. It was an Earth Cache event. The Earth Cache, it was on Saturday before Earth Cache Sunday. Is that the way to put it? And it was really nice. Ojoy was there and helped me actually get some ideas for getting an Earth Cache out there. In fact, where I wanted to put an Earth Cache, she goes, I remember one there, and she was able to pull it up. So we might have had a jump start on replacing an Earth Cache.
Can you adopt an Earth Cache? Yeah, you can.
Yeah, but it had already been archived, so interesting.
That is interesting. Huh. I was just going to throw out there, speaking of Earth Caches, it was Earth Cache Sunday. We did get our Earth Cache in. It was also, last weekend was Canadian Thanksgiving. So that makes it a little challenging to get an Earth Cache, especially when you've found most of the Earth Caches in your local area. But there's still a few we haven't found. There's been a couple of new ones that have been placed. But I'll tell you, I got a lot of logs and messages about Earth Caches that I own this week.
So you're saying it wasn't just you. It was 36,000 of your closest friends?
That's right. Canadian Thanksgiving.
Nice. Rob, you've been kind of busy. What did you get to do this weekend since wrapping up the Munzee Bash?
Oh man, this weekend was the big Munzee Bash, and that was Friday evening, all day Saturday, and Sunday up until 1 o'clock, and so I slept through most of Monday. So that's kind of how the week started. But I'm fortunate enough to have tons and tons of Munzees out here, and so I've actually been outside and capping physical Munzees every day this week, which I can't always say that. It's kind of like I got enough exercise and movement going over the weekend that it just kept rolling, I guess. Mm-hmm. So that was good. Yeah.
Nice. And you
That's
know,
I've
I've been in McKinney, and that town is covered with physical Munzees as well as virtual. I think you can actually smell the Munzees in the air.
There is a faint smell of vinyl. Yes, there's plenty of vinyl on the back of all of these preheated signs. They're heated by the sun every morning, and then you slap that vinyl on there. Boy, it feels fantastic. It smells lovely.
You love the smell of vinyl in the morning?
Yeah, that's right.
It smells like Munzee.
That's awesome. I love it. There's a quote. There's a quote for you, Rob.
Smells like Munzee. I like it. That's good.
We'll be part of your marketing department. We are expecting a kickback on that particular one, but any other one we'll toss out there for free tonight.
I want a shirt that says "Smells like Munzee."
I will. Let me put that on my list of things to make this week. Here we go. Oh, the week is almost over. I don't know if I'll be able to get to it.
That's too bad.
Smells like Munzee. I really am going to write that down, though, so hang on just a second.
That's awesome. Hey, so before we get into tonight's topics, Rob, maybe it would be helpful for any of our listeners who perhaps haven't heard of or played Munzee before, if you could give them the super quick rundown on what the game is and how it's maybe different than traditional geocaching.
Okay. I can imagine, honestly, that there are quite a few people, your listeners, that maybe never have heard of Munzee, and so I appreciate that you're tuning in this evening anyway to find out what is this Munzee, the Munzee Bash, and MHQ, and CoachV, who's that? So Munzee is, real quick, we're a 21st century scavenger hunt. We're based only on smartphone usage, and we're a free app. It's a free game to play. It's all based on QR codes. So what you do is you either print or you purchase QR codes from us. You scan them with the app, and it attaches the same GPS coordinates to that location, puts a pin on the map. So it's similar to geocaching in that aspect. The way that we're different is that we are typically a more urban type of game. There are some people who like to complain that it's every lamppost and sign and those types of things. And while that may be true in some places, there are also those players and those locations that are geocaching-esque, where you do get out there off the beaten path. If you're going and looking for a geocache in a cool place, then you never know, you might open up the Munzee app and check and see, and sure enough, there's going to be a Munzee somewhere nearby, because there are enough people who play both games and all the other geo games that are out there. And so we like to throw around the word coexist. That's what we've been talking about a lot this year, is just how there doesn't have to be just one game. There can be multiples, and people can play them all. I play somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 everywhere that I go, depending on the day. So I'm always popping up some new app and doing that. So that's what Munzee is. We've got a couple of things that are geared more toward, hey, I like to geocache and I like to go on trails. Well, we have a trail Munzee that is kind of like a multi-cache. So if you've never seen that, then check us out. We're munzee.com.
Very cool. So yeah, it's great to hear about alternative games and more things to do and more things to play. And tonight I hear we're going to launch into version 3.0 of the app, and I'm really excited to hear what you have to tell us about that. But before we get that far, you mentioned something about a Munzee bash, and I'm thinking there might be people out there that don't know exactly what the heck is a Munzee bash. And somebody accused us of bashing Munzee when we mentioned the Munzee bash. And I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah, that's funny. As you're saying it, that's what I'm hearing. I'm like, oh, Munzee bash. I think I've visited those Facebook groups before. But yeah, that's not what we do here in McKinney. We invite people in. It's now our 2nd annual, and so I have sort of what people did here behind us. This year was during Second Saturday, which in McKinney is an arts-based weekend, and so they have artists that come and set up on the square, because our headquarters is located right in the middle of historic downtown McKinney. Our building is from the late 1880s, and so all of our events and all of our clues, and we were playing at Evency as well. Everything was based around art. So you went to a location. At this one, you had to get paint on your hand and put your handprint on the canvas, and then that was our way of commemorating the weekend. So we've got that here as a backdrop today. So that's what we do here in McKinney. It was, like I said, a whole weekend. It was Friday night. We went to a local brewery and had registration, and just everybody come hang out. We had different packages that people could buy in order to participate in the weekend, and one of them included a couple of pints of beer. It's a local brewery that just opened late spring, and we've gotten close to them, so they welcomed us in, and everybody had a good time. It's a big location, so we all spread out and socialized and capped some Munzees, and they were all over the place, all over that parking lot and everything. So we did that Saturday. We had a good time. We have a McKinney Segway tour that is that actually they keep their 6 Segways in the back of our offices, and so I have access to a Segway at any time. So when I get tired in the middle of the day, I just take a little zip around the neighborhood. But that's a side note. No, it wasn't, because I would have taken you out to show you one of the trails or something.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Yeah, a reason to come back. Which, by the way, you can earn a badge for going on the Munzee Segway tour. So just putting that out there for everybody. So we did that. So we had McKinney Segway tours set up and taking people out. They were actually capturing the first trail that we ever made, which was mine. And so it takes you it's about a 2-mile journey all around downtown McKinney. So people were going out on the Segways and doing that. So they had a good time. Yeah. Then Sunday we went to one of our local parks, a big park, one that we hadn't taken people to before. So they built a huge virtual garden there, and had a good time. Sort of a farewell lunch, and then we watched people go and cap all over the place. And so that was McKinney. We had another sort of a spin-off event because I didn't bring my European staff over this year, and they were upset, let's say, although really they understood. So they decided to throw their own party. So Daniel Fisher, who is from Germany, flew over to England, and he and Louise ran an event in Leeds, and so we called it the Euro Bash. Actually, I called it the Euro Trash, but that's not very nice. So I put that out there several places, but it was the Euro Bash. So they had a good time. They did some similar activities, and it was just good. It was good fun. Very busy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, that also coincided with the release of Munzee 3.0. So, if you're willing to push in the clutch and switch gears a little, can we talk about that? How's the reception been for the new app?
The reception for the new app has been relatively good. It's always easy to say, oh, it's been great. Change, Chris. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
There are some people who have a positive, negative resistance to change, and yeah, sometimes those people are not quiet. They're rather loud. But I will tell you that the quiet people have really enjoyed Munzee 3.0. So, and I know that because they come and they whisper it in my ear at events like the Bash. So really and truly, it's gone very well. We're very pleased with it. We put it out on iOS and on Android. And for the 7 people who have Windows phones, my apologies that we don't have it out on Windows yet. And yes, I have read all of your tweets, and we will get it to you one of these days, but it's just not happening yet. So,
Rob, would it be cheaper for you to buy them Android or iPhones than actually spend the time building the app for Windows?
Yes, and or talking about it. Yes, I believe that it probably would, but they continue to ask, and yeah, we don't have that yet. But 3.0 has gone well on iOS. Android, we put a lot of work into it. It had actually been 1 year since we had updated the app. The actual 2.0 app came out 2 years ago. So the last real update was about a year ago. So it was, I was telling you guys earlier, crusty is what it was. So we're excited to have it out there. Most of the feedback good. There's always things that need to be fixed and always things that need to be tweaked. I've got 2 guys that are dedicated to 3.0 because, you know, Munzee has a lot of projects going on all the time, but I have 2 guys specifically dedicated to 3.0, so they are working on some of the bugs behind the scenes right now, and we've got a new beta out that people are working with, and we've got a couple things to fix, and then we'll be pushing it out to the store. It'll be out in the next couple weeks.
Always good to shake off the crusty and add some new polish and make some new things. And for those people that are familiar with Munzee, that aren't new to this thing, can you highlight any of the added functionality, any new features that 3.0 gives them?
Well, what we did is we kind of changed the whole layout. So when you used to go into the app, you'd look at it and kind of have a okay, what do I do now type feeling. Where you actually had to choose, kind of like choose your own adventure, which of these 4 buttons do I want to push, and then let's see where I land, and then figure it out from there. Now we start you immediately on the map. So when you're looking at the map, then you're able to see, oh, here's what's going on. We have filters, and previously the filters were not enabled for all users. They were a premium feature. So what we've done this time is we've added some very specific filters that are for premium only, but for all players, you can filter You can filter out all the virtuals. If you just want to play a physical game, great. You can filter out all the virtuals, or you can filter out all the physicals if you only want to play a virtual game. We start the app with a brand new player in mind, because what we want to do is we want to make sure their brand new player goes looking for a QR code, because that's part of the little tutorial, is that you're looking for a QR code. The only game pieces that are guaranteed to be QR codes are the greenies, the regular Munzees. And so when you turn the app on for the first time, the filters are completely off with the exception of greens. And so if a brand new player has any greens around them, they can go looking for that. And then after you capture that, then it gives you sort of a, oh, hey, did you know there's more that you can do type thing. And so then you turn the other filters on. You can expand your game, sort of go into advanced gameplay, let's say.
Rob, I found that the filters are fantastic, especially for the clan wars. You can have a goal. So let's say, this month's clan war, you need to get the family jewels, so you can just turn everything else off, and where are their family jewels, so then you can just target where you're going. I thought that was so helpful. I actually shared that with the rest of my clan right off the start of the clan wars this go around. Said, hey guys, new app, you can do this. It makes life easier. So very cool.
That's good. I'm glad you found that, because sometimes those things get a little bit hidden. There's people in Facebook groups who share that stuff. So I appreciate you leading out and seeing it and doing it. But we kind of put that one in as sort of a, hey, this is an easier clan month for people. So hopefully, and so far it seems to be working out really well. So that's good. I'm glad you found that.
Nice. I love the filters for when I'm traveling. I can turn on and off the virtuals as you're driving down the road. You go, look, I could snack that virtual. There, got it.
Yeah.
So it's really nice for that, and turn off everything else, and you can see what you're doing. I love the new filters. There, done.
Good. See, that's perfect. That's perfect. We've got a lot of other features that are in there, obviously, but we're able to do some generic replacements on the fly. You can update things a whole lot better in this new app. Just the functionality of the whole thing and ease of play is what we were going for. We kind of designed this one with new players in mind, as opposed to, hey, those of you that have been playing 4 years, you know what you're doing, so there's going to be a couple of things that you'll have to do to set this up for yourself, because we've got some stuff coming that's going to push, hopefully, a lot of new players in, including, we're testing in the beta program right now, referral code. So what that does is it actually, it's live online right now, so you can see it at Munzee.com/referral. Yeah. I'm trying to think if it had to have your username in it or not. Yeah, not sure. We just pushed it out on Tuesday. So it's coming in on the app, where what you do is you'd show your referral code, and if I'm talking to you and I get you to sign up, if you have less than 10 captures, then you join in as like, I've referred you. So I get points and you get points right then. You get 50 and I get 10. And then if you continue to play, for every 100 captures that you have, I get 10 points for that. So
wow.
Yeah, so just sort of a hey, thanks for spreading the word about Munzee. Now, does it go back to, hey, I brought so-and-so in 3 years ago? Nope. It started as of Tuesday. So thanks for bringing all the people in that got us here, but moving forward. And so you get some points. Not so many that people will want to cheat, but some.
So it's a pyramid scheme.
Actually, it is. Yeah, okay. Don't tell my dad, though. Yeah. I've participated in a handful of those network marketing opportunities, and so our hotel and motels are set up on that pyramid setup. And so with this one, we don't have the map drawn out for you yet, but you can imagine that maybe sometime down the line, if I get you to join, and then you get Land Monkey to join, you know what I mean? Then I'm getting points off of you, and I'm getting points off of him.
And you tell two friends, and they tell
That's
two
right.
friends.
Look, now you have 5 million people. Yeah, exactly. And you're bringing in 17 points a day, one of those kind of things. So, yeah. So anyway, that's what's new in the 3.0 app that's in beta right now that's coming out soon. We have a lot of small bugs that we've been working on and fixing, and then we have a list of other things. And sometimes people want to know, what is on that list? Can't tell you. So you'll see soon.
Well, Rob, we have a live Q&A, and since you just released this on Tuesday, Wet Coaster says he printed out the referral code, and when somebody else scanned it, they got a 404 Munzee Not Found page. So there might be a little work left.
What? That's awesome. I mean, that's terrible.
No,
that's just terrible.
It's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Send them my referral code, and we'll see if that works any better.
I agree. Wow, that's weird. I just lost you guys, so I'm sorry. I'm looking for you. There you are. Yeah. I don't know where you went. So,
Apparently
I will have to
lap from what I just saw on the screen.
I'm looking to see why that would have happened for you and not for me.
There
See,
we
I
go.
get it. I get mine. That's weird.
Live troubleshooting. There you go. Wet.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's something to work on later, though.
Yeah, I agree. So, what else can I tell you about? Who else has a question?
So we also heard on Twitter from Scott Foster, who said that we should make sure to ask you tonight, which is your favorite opposite and why your head is so shiny.
My head is not shiny tonight, Scott, because I got my hat on. So good luck. Better luck next time with that one. My favorite opposites. Opposites are awesome, by the way. OPPOSUITS. They have, I was looking at, I think it's 36 different designs. I have 6 of them. So you should check them out. It's a good deal. Listen, they don't even pay me yet to do this. They don't give me free suits, and they don't pay me yet. But they are
How long
awesome.
until you can buy an opposite in the Munzee store, in the Munzee marketplace?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's funny because I talked to them one time. So they're from the Netherlands, so it takes a little while to get the communication going.
And do you have any in Munzee green?
I do have a Munzee green one. I wore it this weekend, so it's off to the cleaners today. So too bad. But you can see the pictures of them. They're like on our Facebook page and all that stuff. I've got a Munzee green one. We have a Bavarian one for Oktoberfest. That's also the colors of Eventsy, so it's a nice blue and white one, right? And then I have a straight blue one. I have a Union Jack suit that I wore over in London on a trip. It is all that. Tulips in Amsterdam, a light blue one with pink tulips on it. And I'm trying to think.
Owned by Don Cherry.
That's people have said that about have said that about the suits. They're like, oh, you know who you look like when you wear this kind of stuff. And I honestly, when I heard it, I was like, no, because I don't know who that is. But then,
Every Canadian listener knows who's who it was.
Exactly, and then I understood. I was like, now I get it. There's also an ugly Christmas sweater one that I have. So my favorite would probably have to be the original, the green. Just because, it's the original. It stands out at an event, that's for sure, because it's a jacket, pants, and a tie, all matching.
Nice.
Pretty
Classic, man.
Yeah. So thanks, Scott. Appreciate that.
Well, there's some other feedback from our regular listener, Brian Lang. He said about the app, he says, the biggest feature I want is stability. He says, as it stands right now, for him, he said the app crashes or fails in some way every 2 or 3 deploys and every 5 or 6 caps. It also seems to be a bigger battery hog than the old app. Is that just your error?
That user error, Brian. I didn't say it, Brian. What's in did. So I would say not user error. bigger battery hog, there are some things that are out of our control. That with the new, I guess, system that we're using to build the app. So there's a handful of things that are still being tweaked by the company whose stuff we're using, I guess. We communicate with them on a pretty regular basis. We're one of their we're testing some stuff almost is kind of what's happening. So we know about that, and we're always working to make battery life better. As far as the app crashing every 2 to 3 deploys or 5 to 6 caps, that does sound like an issue. Not one that is worldwide to my knowledge. The best thing for you to do would be to email us, support@munzee.com, or go to munzee.com/contact and hit us up there. Daniel can give you some feedback on what you might try. I'm sure that you're a smart enough guy, and you guys may know him well enough, who knows, but that maybe he's turned the phone on and off, he's reset the memory, because I don't know, but I assume it's an Android, because I don't have this issue on my iPhone. All the normal, like, use a different browser, like you told me earlier, Chris, when we were having sound issues. Oh yeah, that's right. So sorry about that, Brian. Obviously, we don't want to have a bad product out there, so we are definitely working on everything we can.
I think Brian's actually an iPhone user.
Oh, is he?
Pretty sure, but I think he's in the Q&A, so he can correct us if I'm wrong on that.
Okay. Interesting.
For me, so what can I say?
Then the other question would be on that, if what version of iOS he's running, and because that's the thing about it, what we're using is like current technology, so it's not working well with the 4-year-old 4S's anymore. It's not liking them very much, and so we're hoping that people will use phones that are less than 3 years old in order to play, which, technology. So that's one of the things that's got to happen. So sorry.
Nice. Well, we have some more feedback. This time comes from user Retro. He said, I'd really like to have the option to save Munzees offline for future captures. I want to be able to open up the map, load a key area, select save to phone, and then be able to open it later when I don't have Wi-Fi or data coverage available. Other apps have this, so maybe it's an option. And there's also seems to be a problem with metric users. It wants to stay in feet, not meters, even though it's been selected as meters. So,
I think that we should take this whole feet and meters thing all the way to the president and the UN and everyone else, because I myself am a fan of the metric system as a former math teacher. It's so much easier than everything else based on powers of 10. So that's beside the point. I understand what you're saying. Since we are American-based, then obviously everything revolves around feet and those types of things. I'm not sure if you can give a couple of specific locations of that, but if you can, if you'll send that in to us through our contact link, it's something that we can certainly look into, because that should be something really simple and just something that's been overlooked. As far as the offline stuff goes, this is one of those differences between geocaching and Munzee. We are a smartphone app only. We don't run on GPS units. We don't run on anything else like that. It's got to be a cell phone. It's got to be it's got to have data, cell coverage, those kinds of things. Offline usage is one of those things that is sort of always right out there, just beyond view of the camera, where we would love to be able to do it. But if we go back to good old Brian's question, he wants stability. Me too. So if I have the choice of continuing to work on stability or bringing offline mode in for the people who are going places where they're not going to have cell coverage, we're going with stability. So I understand, Mike, and I want it to happen because I travel enough that it would be very handy. So usually the things that we add are things that I want. So I want it. So do you. Coming soon. Let's hope. But don't hold me to like 1,000 hours or anything.
There you go.
Yeah,
This is other
see,
than
there
those
you go.
hiccups. I really do enjoy the app. So there you go. Now,
Oh,
there's
that's good.
one more that we're getting into. I hope this isn't too much of a Munzee bash, but taken the wrong way. One more from IHAM in the Q&A. It says, why force an app to upgrade? I can't get the new one to install, and I'm currently out of the Munzee game.
We had to force it, and it's actually written on our blog, munzeeblog.com. You can go back and read the, I believe it was News from the Prez, is what it was called, where I sort of gave an explanation as to why we had to shut down the old app. We didn't have a choice. Well, that's not true. We had a choice. It's just if everyone wanted to chip in a lot of dollars, we could have kept running the old app. I decided that we'd go ahead and just sort of pay for one app instead of running an old version and a new version. So that's the short answer for what happened. There were some core components that that we couldn't use anymore, and with the new app, we had to update to some new libraries and some new things. So there you have it. As far as not getting the new one to install, I'm same thing as what I said earlier. Older phones, that's about the only thing that I can think of is, if you're running an older phone or older operating system. So, sorry.
Yeah. So speaking of phones and operating systems, just to clarify, we did hear back from Brian Lang. He's actually running on an Android platform. Okay. So I think back to what Rob was saying, Brian Lang, to get in touch with the guys at MunzeeHQ and see if they can help you with the issues you're having. I'm running on a Munzee 3.0 on a Galaxy S3, so that's a pretty old Android-based phone, and Munzee 3.0 has worked better for me than I have ever experienced with the version 2. I could barely use version 2. I couldn't scan mysteries. For whatever reason, the camera on this would not scan the blue. It was crazy. It was just driving me nuts. And then since the version 3 upgrade, everything works like a charm.
That camera is awesome. That's why, and not your camera, our camera. What we're using for the scanning. What we used in the previous one was fantastic in comparison with the first version, but what we found for this one is 10 times better. It's amazing. So, yeah, so that's good. I'm glad to know, Brian, but yeah, throwing it out to the universe is not necessarily where all of the answers come from. Hit us up on the contact page.
There you go. Now, Rob, you throw out special Munzees for special events. So Wet Coaster wants to know, how about a special Canadian Thanksgiving Munzee next year?
Oh, Canadians have Thanksgiving? That's cool. I didn't know. So.
Okay, well, nice talking to you, Rob.
Yeah, exactly right. No, I guess that's good luck with that. No, that's the tricky part, man, with this whole worldwide game. We put out special icons all the time, and I really do try to come up with things that'll be worldwide. We did Australia Day, Kangaroo, and we've done some small celebrations, but you notice that we don't do a 4th of July type deal for American freedom to let the rest of the world celebrate that. I like the idea, though.
There you go.
Well, what you could do is you could do a combination 1st of July, 4th of July for for the two-thirds of North America.
See, there you go. That
so
works.
half a maple leaf and half a star. There you go.
There you
go. Trish could definitely draw that together, I'm sure. That would be fun.
And Canadian Thanksgiving's right near Columbus Day, so.
Oh, see, there you go. Columbus holding a turkey.
Hey,
turkey leg. Mm-hmm.
Done. Yeah. Love it.
Also picked up some chatter about personal Munzees. Can you explain to listeners what the personal Munzees are and when they might be available?
Ooh, that's awesome. Good news, good news. today is October 15th, and today is when we launched the personal Munzees via our resellers. So you can actually visit their websites and find one that's located near you, because we have one we have several in Australia, we have several in Europe, we have one in Canada, that's right, and 3 across the U.S. So check those. They're at munzee.com/retail. And they actually have a link in there for the what the personal Munzee is, but here's the 20-second version of it. It's a social Munzee that gives you points. So it's like you could wear it as a name badge, and what you do is you deploy it at a location. Everyone there is able to scan it, and then if you go to a different event 10 miles away, you can go to that event, you can scan it again, people can capture it within a mile. So you can move 3 times a day, actually, and visit like that. Wow. So that's
cool.
that's what it is. Yeah, it's very popular. It's very fun. The resellers were excited to get them. We tested them during our birthday parties in July, and then we passed them out this weekend at the MHQ Bash, and now people are able to buy them.
Beautiful. More Q&A questions? I have a premium Munzee. This is from Boats. I have a premium Munzee that I'd love to attach to a trail. Work the trail, get the premium Munzee at the end of it. Is that possible?
Unfortunately, you can't necessarily do that because the premium is going to show no matter what, where the end of the trail won't show up until the people who've capped stop 1, 2, 3, 4. So once they get 1, 2, 3, 4, then it would do that. There's not a way to tie a premium Munzee into that right now. We've talked about extending the trail system so that you would have more stops, and it might be something where there would be a prize at the end.
Nice.
But that's on the dry erase board in the other room.
I've seen that dry erase board. There's a lot of
Right.
things on that dry erase board.
Yeah, there are.
Sounds like that dry erase board gets a lot of views because you've got a lot of great new features, both coming and currently released, and we're excited to hear about them. Yeah. Maybe we can talk a little bit about a feature called Munzee.
Munzee. Yes, we could talk quickly about Munzee because what is going on right now, Munzee is a separate app that our Android programmer has sort of transitioned into the role of sort of a separate game developer. So he's not one of the specific guys working on 3.0. Instead, he's been working on an app called Munzee. If you're familiar with Temple Run, it's similar to that, but it's all Munzee themed so that you're actually running back and forth across the map. You're jumping over things in order to collect Munzee pins, which give you points. Just like in the game, there are mystery pins that give you anywhere from 5 to 50. All the while you have your cell phone and your battery life is running down on the side, so you can run, you can jump and collect a battery. There are power-up items that you can earn, and at the end you're collecting premium stars. So the premium stars can be used for the upgrades and things like that. It's very exciting. Munzee has been in the approval process for 2 weeks now. Michael demonstrated Munzee earlier today by running out of the office screaming. So that tells you how the approval process is going right now. He is not an Apple fan. Previously, he was not an Apple fan, and now he is an absolute Apple hater. So I'll just tell you that. Stay tuned. When Munzee launches, everyone will know because you will hear Michael screaming positive things on that day. I did message him and tell him that he has to come in and apologize to the front door in the morning. So that's got to happen. Thanks, Apple. So
I've heard more than one person have really bad experiences with app approvals. So
yeah, they haven't been very nice, but that's okay. He's working hard on it. It's coming soon. It will be a way for people to think about and enjoy Munzee in a totally different way. It will bring in a younger generation, and you'll also be able to earn some rewards that you'll be able to redeem in the Munzee game.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Rob, you're talking about having the challenges with deploying it with Apple on the iOS platform. Is it also going to be available on the Android platform?
It is, yeah. It's going to be on. It'll be Apple and Android. Sorry, Windows. Same thing. One of these days, once we get it launched on everything, then the same thing. We're looking into that piece, but probably not going to put Munzee out before we do Munzee toward Windows. But yeah, it's coming for all of those, and I'd like to tell you, oh, stay tuned, it's going to happen next week, but honestly, it's all Apple's fault right now.
Nice.
That's the honest truth.
All right. Do we want to address anything else in the Q&A before we look towards the tail end of the show here?
We've got one. You mentioned the personal Munzees, Rob. So Brian Lang wants to know, can a personal Munzee be capped more than once by another player? If I found one Munzee in one place, can I cap it again?
No, not right now. I always have to try and think of how can a cheater take best advantage of this, which mainly means how would I take advantage of this, and then we build things in to stop me from doing that. And so one of the things that we decided we were going to start with, so this is kind of like a test program, I suppose, and it's something that we can fix later. We can set it so that, let's say, once every year it can be captured by people, so that if you're going to an annual event, then great, you can meet each other again. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to have it where, husband-wife team just happen to, hey, look, I met you again today, again today, and you keep getting 50 points every day. So I can already hear the complaints and read it on Facebook. So we're gonna pass. So it's a good question, and it's something we're looking at for the future.
Great.
Yeah.
We have one other one from Wet Coaster that I'd like to maybe throw out there just before we close up. And he's asking, and of course this one's near and dear to my heart, which is why I want to make sure it squeezes in. Is there any way we can get some of the nomads to appear in the Northwest, in particular the lower mainland of BC?
Oh, you guys and your Canada questions. It's like you guys are running a program that's specifically geared toward the Northwest or something. I'm confused. No, it's awesome. I love it. Here's how you can try and get the nomads to land in your area. Grow the map. That's it. So it is a 100% random. Any green around the world is available to the nomad for him to land on. So you want more chances, get your clan out there and put more greens out. That's why clan requirements over the past several months have included so many deploys. Oh, and something else that's coming up in a couple of days. That's going to be handy for lots of green deploys as well. But I didn't just tell you that. So
great. So clans, get out there and deploy the greens.
Yeah, that's right. If you knew what was coming in just a couple of days into the future, it's gonna
like
be
maybe
sweet.
the weekend, you're saying?
No, not quite that close.
Okay.
You got a couple more days to prepare.
Another week we'll have a hoverboard according to Back to the Future.
Well, that's very interesting.
Oh.
Interesting.
You may have hit upon something there.
That is really weird. I know. I would really like to have a hoverboard. I have a couple downstairs, but they have wheels on them and a handle that I hold on to, so as a Segway. But
I've never even been on one of those. So.
Oh my gosh, it's so awesome, so much fun. You got to come here so that you can go on one.
I'm afraid I would make one of the YouTube highlight crash reels though.
Don't tell the people that run the Segway tour, but I already launched myself off of one of them. It was a little bit painful, but
don't worry, nobody watches this podcast. You're fine.
That's
just
awesome.
hate Texas.
Yeah, there you go. You guys just don't come down here telling them what I did. I didn't break it, so we're okay.
It's our little secret.
Yeah, that's right.
Friends of the show, you're now in.
Yeah.
That's right.
Who knows Rob's secret?
Good times.
All right. Well, hey, Rob, thank you so much for joining us. But before we wrap up, we want to make sure that anyone who wants to get a hold of you or the Munzee team know where to go. So where would you send them?
I would send them to munzee.com/contact. That would be the best place because it has all of our different departments basically listed out. We did have some email issues earlier this week, so we were not receiving a lot of emails, and a lot of emails were not going out. But we got that fixed, so check us out there. We are also out on all the social media outlets, so follow us there and on our blog, munzeeblog.com.
Nice. Now, before we go tonight, I want to let you know we're doing a giveaway.
A giveaway.
Do you know what this is, Rob? This is a Munzee pack.
Yes, it is.
Have you seen one before?
That looks very familiar.
Yes. A Munzee pack is a package of Munzees that are sent out every month on a subscription basis. It's a great idea. We want to get one in your hands. So how are we going to do that? First of all, get an email ready. Send that to feedback@cachingandw.com. Title it Munzee. Make sure you include your geocaching.com or your Munzee.com or Munzee screen name, as well as a physical mailing address. Now, make sure you get it in to feedback@cachingandw.com by midnight Pacific Standard Time on October 23rd. And we will pick a random winner and send you your very own Munzee pack.
So is there a question that we're asking?
Nope, just get an email in.
Wow, that's easy.
That seems very, very simple. So simple that I will give a second Munzee pack. So
No
how about
way.
that?
Okay,
You
so there
send
you go.
one.
You've just doubled your chances to win.
That's right. You send one, and I'll send one. Done. That was easy. Actually, Cece will send one because she's the best. She actually follows through.
That's fantastic, Rob. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that is awesome. So, folks, get your emails in. I was going to say get your answers in, but you don't need any answers. Just get your emails in. Win one of the 2 Munzee packs, and maybe you'll be lucky, and you'll get the Munzee pack that actually comes to you from McKinney, Texas, like the real Munzee pack, or you can get the other one from the Bad Cop.
Either way. Wait a minute.
His is
Why
better. I have a
suddenly
feeling.
less?
Yeah. No, I think yours was loaded up if I remember. I can't remember for sure, but yeah, that's good.
That's
They'll
awesome.
like it.
All right. So, thank you very much, Rob, for that. That is awesome. And thanks for joining us tonight.
My pleasure. Always.
Hey, Bad Cop, where can folks find you on the interwebs?
Well, if you look on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, you can find me at cachingandw.com. Or, I'm sorry, just cachingandw. Or you can go to cachingandw.com. I'm there as well. Wits End, where can we find you?
Wits End. Just look for Wits End. I'm out there on Twitter and Facebook and Periscope and LO and Geocaching and Munzee and all those places. Just Wits End.
Yellow Pages?
Sure. Give me a 5-minute head start with a Sharpie, and I'll be all over the Yellow Pages. So, how about Land Monkeys?
How about the Land Monkeys? The website is landmonkey.blogspot.ca or .com, but we prefer that you use .ca.
But of course.
You can find us Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope at LandMonkeyGC. On Facebook, we're Team Land Monkey, and on YouTube, just search Land Monkey and you will find us. And folks, we have been a little idle in getting the videos ready. The new job has been taking up a lot of my time, but I've got a metric crap ton of content. We've started editing again. Videos are coming imminently, so there's a bunch more video episodes coming very soon. So make sure to subscribe to Land Monkey on YouTube.
Love it. Thank you for working in metric for us.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our research department has been busily working away and getting you some more great shows lined up. However, if you have some ideas of which you want to hear, topics, guests, please reach out. We still have that email address, feedback@cachingandw.com, which, by the way, we've already gotten emails in for the contest, so make sure you get yours in because you've got a week from the time that this airs to get that in.
Nice. I'm going to send my email now.
Okay.
You could win the Munzee pack from the Bad Cop.
Yeah. We could win each other's Munz pack. Do you see how this is
Perfect.
working? No.
CC could mail it from that desk to mine. That'll be perfect.
Okay. Take about a week.
It's true.
All right, well, it is time to say thank you. We thank you to our guest, Rob, for all of your wonderful time to be spent with us and all the great information and tidbits about Munzee, what is new and what is to come. And, of course, to all the listeners, we want to thank you for taking all of your time to listen to this episode, Caching in the Northwest. You know, you can be part of this show. Call 253-693-TFTC. Leave us a comment, ask us a question, send me some mustache wax, will you? Anytime, day or night. Of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingNW.com, and your support helps to keep quality shows coming. If you like the show, click the PayPal button on the CachingNW.com website, don't you please? This show is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2015 by Percent an Hour.
Good night, folks. Thanks again.
Later. Adios.
And we are clear of the recording.
Yay,
Boy,
boy.
that ending seemed really long tonight.
Mm-hmm.
There's some nights it's short, and other nights it's long.
Yeah.
Oh, Rob, thank you so much.
That's because you ask me questions and then you let me talk. That's what happens. Yeah, no problem. This past weekend I haven't talked about it publicly anywhere, so I'm just telling you guys this after the fact. But
on the broadcast, so.
Yeah.
well,
I'm
I'm not going to tell you. Well, I tell you what. I'll tell you this, and that way the people out there can hear it too. That's fine. No big deal. So this weekend I spent lots of my time talking about Munzee because there's this program called In America that is hosted by James Earl Jones, and it plays on public broadcasting, like in between shows and some of that kind of stuff. They came out here. They were at the MHQ Bash filming Munzee, and they're going to be doing a 6-minute segment on Munzee to be showing in like all of the markets across the U.S., some of Canada, yeah, and then some over in England as well. So it's pretty cool stuff.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, so the same thing happened. They held a mic up, or they mic'd me, and they started asking me questions, and it was like, oh my goodness, I did at one point say, how long do you have again? I can't remember how long you were staying with me. So it was pretty crazy. They took my son out and filmed him playing Munzee some, and testimonials from a couple of our players, and it was a lot of fun. So that's where our new player focus on the app has come from, because we knew that this was coming. So we built the 3.0 app with some brand new player. When you put your hands on this, can you figure out from the first screen what to do?
The important follow-up question then is does James Earl Jones Munzee?
Not yet. So that's what when I heard about it, that's what I said. I said, "Are you telling me that Darth Vader might say Munzee? That would be so cool." And I was like, I don't. If he says Rob Vardaman, I'm your father, that's cool too. But
that was my next question. Did you get him to say, "I am your father"?
Right. Truthfully, any of that would be fine. And he. From us watching the clips, he does the host piece, and so he talks about sort of the overall picture of what's going on that's being talked about, not necessarily the nitty-gritty details and some of that kind of stuff.
That's funny. We all had a different James Earl Jones catchphrase come to our minds. Mine was, did he stand outside of MHQ and say, "This is MHQ"?
See, there you go. Love it. Love it.
What else?
So that's the fun stuff that ties in with why this past weekend was a big one for us.
That is awesome.
That is awesome.
We had some more activity in the Q&A. Thought in our overflow time here we can address it.
Sure.
We had Wet Coaster saying that he has found that replacing Munzees that have gone missing is much easier in 3.0 and throws out a thank you.
You're welcome. I agree. It is much easier. So that's good.
Brylang has shared that he's about to earn 2 Munzee badges, so congrats, Brylang.
Go, Brylang. Nice job.
And Brylang also says there is a nomad at Mount Rainier right now. So it's relatively close.
Well, I'll just head right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing here?
And Wet Coaster wants us to close the entries now because he's officially sent in his contest. So
It's all about it.
sent in his email.
That's funny. Oh my goodness. That other game that we didn't talk about when I switch hats, while we were doing this, I had an item go live. So
No fair.
It's gone really well because, in case you've missed it, I like to have a little bit of fun and just sort of bend whatever rules there are. So when they came into our fold, I posted a message today, something along the lines of, let's change. Change is fun, so get ready. And then I started doing all kinds of stuff. And the other day there were some complaints, and the people in the game are actually very nice, so they don't complain too much. But there were some complaints about the timing around the world and all that. So I said, well, I'm going to make it easy for you. I'm going to release everything at 1, 2, 3, 4, so 12:34. And,
there you go.
And so they're like, in my time zone or yours? And so I just wrote yes. And that's it. So that's the only way I've responded to any of their time zone questions. Yes. So today at 12:34 p.m., I released an item based on our time zone. And then while we were talking, it was 12:34 Eastern. So I released an item at 12:34 a.m. Eastern, so that the Australians can finally understand that I do know that they are there, and I understand that they're awake while we're asleep, and so they had first shot at this one. Yeah, it's weird.
Everything's wrong there.
Hey, is Wallaby on Android?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's part of why I'm not throwing their name out all over the place, because we haven't made a big huge announcement. We made it from that side out, but not from Munzee out to the 240,000, because if you don't have it on Android, then I'm just going to hear bad things anyway. So I'm just going to hold that thought. So we're not working on it yet, but coming very soon, we're going to start working on an Android version as well. So it's going to be built the same way that 3.0 is built. So we're building all those on a hybrid app, so I can take one person and they can push Android and iOS, and coming soon Windows. We just have to wait for the company to do it. So it's really not us. Everyone that complains, it's not us.
That is awesome. You guys are like a development, I don't know, like
Clearinghouse? No,
yeah, clearinghouse. I'm trying to think.
Yeah. Clearinghouse, that's about right. Yeah.
This is amazing how you guys are turning stuff around.
Yeah, well, Scott's on vacation this week, so I don't know what sort of new things we're going to come up for him to do by the time he gets back next week. We'll have another app. We'll have another app drawn out for him.
Why did he even take vacation?
I don't know. I told him to be sure that he would that he had his laptop, that his phone would tether. Just in case the house Wi-Fi didn't work, because his cousin's 40th birthday or something like that. So they've rented a mansion outside Atlanta that 32 family members are going to stay in because it's that big.
Wow.
Scott, if you're going to talk about my shiny head, I'm going to tell all your family secrets.
So if you happen to be listening to this podcast and you're in Atlanta, there's an open invite to Scott's family.
That's right. to some like 50-person mansion. So go show up because there's apparently room for 18 more people.
But there you go.
They won't even know you're there. The sliding wedding crashers.
That's right. That's right.
We have one more question in the Q&A. This is when do the Munzee badges award at the end of the day? I should be getting the repeater and the 5x5 badge.
It should have gone out sometime in the last 10 minutes.
There you go.
But it could take up to whatever, like an hour or something. And some of them don't process until like 7 a.m. Like the email goes out at 7 a.m. So the cutoff though is our midnight, which was 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
No.
So that's cool.
Time.
Someone got the repeater badge. That's nice. So they managed the repeater badges, like you have 1,111 points today, or 22, 22, 33, 33, one of those kind of scores.
Wow.
So for them to have got to that number and then stopped that's pretty impressive.
That's a pretty targeted badge. You've got to pretty intentionally be going after that. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, there's a line of what when we first started making them, I called them focus badges. Focus. The pie badge, you had to get 314 points exactly in a day, and not over and not more, and you couldn't get, oh, I did it by noon. Nope. At the end of the day, you had to be sitting at 314. That was a difficult one.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
That's fun.
So you knew the cutoff. You'll have to check in the morning.
Yeah.
So good.
They have it.
B Pendragon says, waiting on Windows to do something. If it's not Skype, it's not my job.
There's no personal responsibility, is what he's saying.
Exactly.
Works for me. Works for me.
That is awesome.
Okay, gentlemen. Thank you so much for the evening.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Rob, it was awesome hanging out again. Thank you so much for joining us.
Always good. Always good. Hopefully I'll have an event up in your area at some point in time where I can come up there and you can show me the glories of the area, especially since now you're growing enough to have 2 clans. That's unbelievable, because I remember, I mean, you had like nothing going on. That wasn't that long ago.
That was less than 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So under 2 years. Take a look at Vancouver area on the map.
Yeah.
We're busy up here.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I love it. I would love to have a reason. So that sounds like a good reason for me to come up there. Y'all throw an event. I'll be there.
All right.
Which suit will you wear?
Oh, I don't know if they have a Canadian maple leaf flag yet, but I'll get one. Or bottles of syrup, maybe. Bottles of syrup on a suit. That sounds good, too.
Hockey.
Hockey. Duh. That would be easy. That's great. I appreciate it, guys.
Okay. Thanks
been
again.
fun.
Good night,
Yeah.
all.
Night.